I apologise in advance for some of the sound on this video. I couldn't do anything about it. I wanted to get the video out as soon as I possibly could. It isn't the most polished of videos, but I will be doing some more videos on this subject very soon. I just wanted you to have the information as soon as I could possibly manage to get it out to you. So apologies again, and please keep watching. Hi, it's Sandra from Creating Spain, and today I received this from Colop. Now this is the VX55 Polymer Liquid for stamp making. Now I didn't pay for this. I asked them if they would send me a sample for testing, because although I get one which is from Colop, it's not the same gel. And apparently the one that I get in Spain, you can't get anywhere else. And I told them there are a lot of people interested in making stamps. And they kindly agreed to send me a sample. So they sent me this kilo bottle of the gel. And I have just started using it, literally this afternoon. And it took me 3 attempts to get a perfect stamp out of it. So I think that's pretty good, because the timings are different to my usual gel. Now the first thing that you notice if you get some of this stuff is that it is green. Okay, it is transparent, but it is green, it is not colourless. I do not know if they make it in either other colours or a colourless version. That I have no idea. But if you're interested in buying any of it, I would suggest that you talk to them and ask them. Now, as I have mentioned before, you cannot purchase this from a website. The best thing you can do is to email them or telephone them, tell them you want some polymer for stamp making, for home use, for scrapbooks. And then apparently you have to go through certain processes to pay for it. So, yeah, it's not quite as simple as just buying it online. A bit of a pain, but you know, what can I do? Nothing. So that's what the stuff looks like when you get the bottle. Now, because I find this quite difficult to pour from, and I'll show you the top. It does have a pouring top, but this stuff is really sort of sticky and gloopy. And by the time you actually get it out of there, it can suddenly start pouring a bit too fast. So I just don't find that the easiest of things to do. And I happen to have an empty squeezy bottle, so I've put it in one. Now, you are supposed to keep this in a cool, dark place. And generally what I have done with previous bottles that I've had of other gels, I've just put them in my drawer in a transparent bottle like this, and they're fine. It's not a problem. So, to keep it on my desk, I want to keep it upside down so that I don't get too much air in there. I'll put it in something like that. This particular thing is just a shot glass, and so I can stand it in there for when it's on my desk. Now, I did mention before that I use a UV LED lamp set. Now, I still have normal UV lamp bulbs, but I don't use them. And the reason is you have to warm them up before use. They vary in efficiency dreadfully. Whereas these UV lamps, and I'll turn one around so you can see, these will last for a very long time. Again, the normal UV lamps don't last actually that long. And the more you use them, the less efficient they get. So every time you're making a set of stamps, you'll find the timing varies. It's a pain, it really is. But these are a lot better, and I've had these in here for over a year now, and they're still going strong. Now notice, I have 4 of them. I do not put them in the standard way, facing down towards the reflective base. There is this reflective base that goes in the bottom. I don't leave them like that. If I do, it's far, far too powerful. I turn them all to face the outside. And in doing that, I control it a lot easier. Okay, so just going to put this back in here, if I can. I'll slide in. There we go. So this is an example of what happens when you use it on the setting where all the lamps are facing in. It doesn't do a very good job at all. It's overcooked. Even though I only gave this 20 seconds aside, it's overcooked. And it takes too short a time to cure it for you to be able to adjust it easily. You know, if half a second is going to overcure your design, it's not very useful. So whatever you do, if you have those LED lamps, turn them around the other way. I do have another LED lamp now, one of the little ones for curing nails, and I haven't tried that one. It may not be as powerful and it might well do the job, I don't know. I need to test that out to find out. Right, I have the design put down here under a piece of cellophane, and I have printed it on a piece of tracing paper using a laser printer. Now I've put my frame on top of the cellophane, and because it's slightly sticky, it's not going to move anywhere. So this is how you put the gel in. Now I've decanted mine into a small bottle for ease of use. You need to keep the nozzle on the top of the gel that has been laid down. So I go backwards and forwards in a line. It's quite difficult for me to do this at the moment because I'm doing it one-handed. I'm trying to get it so you can actually see what I'm doing. Hold on, let's put this on top of the lamp. Maybe that will help matters. Okay, let's zoom in a bit. Alright, you should be able to see now. And I've got a bubble there which I definitely don't want. Try and knock that off. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is to keep the nozzle in the gel. So normally what I'm doing is I'm doing it upright, but I'm keeping that gel in contact with the gel that's already been put down. So I'm not lifting it up high. And the reason for doing that is to try and avoid a lot of bubbles. I don't want a lot of bubbles. Okay. So want to pretty much fill the area. You can't have an area within a frame that has gaps in it because the whole thing will turn out to be uneven. If you don't think you've got enough gel in there, just go over with a bit more. It will self-level. Okay. Put that out of the way of the light. So if you've got light facing that way, then put the gel over there. Right, let's zoom back out again. Okay. Now I did this design earlier and it took 60 seconds on each side. However, I did another one for the video on while I was recording it. It wasn't quite set at that time, which is most peculiar. And I just need to grab a piece of plastic to go over the top. Now these are document wallets that I cut up. There we go, piece of plastic. You want to lay it on the top so that it touches the gel and see that it touches it all the way out to the sides, which that did, and then put on the other piece of glass. Now the one that I did earlier when I was filming, when I took it out, there was a little piece of the design which was floating and pulled away from the backing. So I gave it 60 seconds on each side before. What I'm going to do now is give it 60 seconds or a minute on one side, the back, and then I'm going to give it another further 60 seconds plus 10 seconds on the front of it. So it'll be 70 seconds on the front. So This is going in for a minute. 2, 1. Okay. Now I've got a minute on there. I'm going to go for another 10 seconds. And I need to remove this, turn it over, and then pop it under, and my lamp goes on again. There we go. So hopefully this one will turn out perfect. So I did one earlier, I said 60 seconds aside, and that one was, yeah, just fine. But for some reason, I know not why. Perhaps I put slightly more gel in this time round, I don't know. But a bit of it was free floating, and therefore you couldn't really use the stamp. Unfortunate, but there we go. As I said, this is a process which, there is trial and error. And even if you think you know you've got exactly the right time, sometimes something will just go wrong. So, and it usually does when I'm filming. It can go right the rest of the time, and then as soon as I put a camera on it, it'll go wrong. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's see what we've got this time round. Fingers crossed. Always take the sandwich off with the 2 pieces and then hold it by the firmer piece and then attempt to pull back the soft piece. Pull against your own fingers so that you're pushing the gel down and pulling back at the same time. There we go. Now I'm just going to wash that out, but I think that one's probably come out just fine. So here we are, it's still wet from having been washed out. And if I show you the top bit of it, you can see the impression, and you can see that there is some gel left on here, which is as it should be. Now with these frames, it's relatively simple to wash them out because this provides support as well during the washout process. But now I want to remove the frame, so I'll simply pull it off. And all I need to do with this is to just go around it with a piece of paper towel. I don't have to do that even, I could just leave it to air dry. If there are any big lumps of gel on there, I just peel it off. But I don't actually wash it, I want it to remain slightly tacky. And here is the stamp. So what you do now is you can dry that off, just wipe it with a tissue and let it dry. And this, excuse my phone going off, I bet that's Alison. This one you want to put into a little dish of water like that and then put it back under the lamp for another couple of minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. And when you've done that, it will be ready to use. Okay. This is the one that I threw out because this, you see, is slightly loose. Whereas the other ones, you see, they're fine, but just that one was ever so slightly loose. And it's the difference that 10 seconds makes between having a stamp that doesn't work and having a stamp that does. Now, if I'd have had my lamp round the other way so that all the LEDs were facing into the lamp, the time difference would have been so small that I would have either under-cured or over-cured every single time. So this is a slightly different timing to the gel that I use, but other than that, it's pretty much the same except for the slight green tinge. I actually quite like the green tinge because it means I can actually see where my stamp is. I do sometimes put them down and think, where is it? Where's it gone? and yeah, it's fine. It works perfectly right. I did use it to test stamp earlier on, and it was exactly as it should be. So this one has had another 3 minutes in the water. Just take a pair of scissors and trim off any excess. Obviously, if you want to, you can go more closely around the shape. I'm not going to bother with that at the moment. And then you allow it to air dry, or you dry it with a lint-free cloth. Now, the thing that I use to dry that off is this grotty looking thing. It was actually quite clean. That's just stained with ink. And it's a type of cleaning cloth that I get in Spain. I get it in Dompty, and it has no lint whatsoever, and it goes really hard when it's dry, but it's a lovely soft cloth when it's damp. So there we have the stamp made with the VX55 gel that apparently you can get in England and pretty much across the world, and that's according to Colop. So if you can't get it, blame them, not me. Thanks for watching. Take care now. Bye bye.